Welcome to ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mr. Graven. All right, guys, so I have a new build for the Magicka Warden for upcoming Summerset. It's already on PC, but it will be here for console only in a few days. And with that being said, I want to introduce you guys to my new build, the Druid. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into this. This is a Destro build. Okay. Is my bear out? I was about to say it should be out. Let me go ahead and activate this. Something's bugged up. 1 second here. Nope. Making sure everything's up. Something's weird's going on here. There we go. There we go. Just a little bug. Alright, so max Magicka is at 46,009. Yeah, that's a lot. 46,000. Magicka recovery 1,337. It might be a little low, but given the fact that you have quite a bit of magical pool, you should be able to weave in and maintain your resources without any problem. If you want to go a little higher Magicka recovery, you can do that. Max health 18.9. I usually like to stay between 19 and 20k. Spell crit 57.8. Really, really nice. To the left, you're going to go ahead and see all of my points are distributed into Magicka. I am running the Lover Mundus, and I'm using max health and max Magicka food. If you want to go with Witch Mothers, well, you can do that. That's fine. Okay, when I switch over to the other side, nothing much changes except the spell damage. Okay, it's the only thing we're actually kind of dropping a little low on. Or switch in between, but we're a Magicka build. All right, so let's get into the sets here. No big surprise, we're going to be using Necropotence. All right, so Necropotence Inferno Staff, increase infused, ideal. Lightning Staff, yes, not doing the double Inferno, especially with Wardens. For God's sakes, don't do double Inferno with Warden. I'll show you why. Lightning Staff of Necropotence, Nirnhone with frost damage. Keep in mind, as a Warden, when you go into the Warden abilities, you get an additional 6% towards your Magicka and frost damage. You want to glyph any type of damage with frost, not fire, do the frost. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be using Valkynscorian, right? It's going to be infused, max Magicka, ideal. Robe of Mother's Sorrow, so that's our secondary set, Mother's Sorrow. It's going to give us max Magicka, spell crit, and more spell crit. Ideal for the pair up with Necropotence due to the fact, now if you want to use Julianus, get a little bit more, you can, but your critical value will drop. So the reason I paired it with the Necropotence of the Warden is to increase critical value. So it's 2 overland sets, works out really nice. All right. So this is heavy. This is a 511. Yo, David, what's up? Hope you're doing well, brother. This is a 511 config, so we do have a heavy head. We have a medium shoulder. The rest are light. Chest, infused max Magicka. Divine max Magicka. Shoulders. Sash of Mother Sorrow, divine max Magicka. Gloves of Mother Sorrow, divine max Magicka. Breachers of Mother Sorrow, infused max Magicka. Shoes of Mother Sorrow, divine max Magicka. We have a necklace of Necropotence. Bloodthirsty recovery. Okay, I've set this up different. Instead of putting the weapon damage here, I went with recovery. Why? Because my infused will have my additional spell damage. All right, because I'm using Nirnhone, I want to scale that up a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead, poof, put a little bit of extra spell damage on the infused. And with that being said, we're going to go with 1 arcane, also with recovery. That's going to give us that nice 46,000. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the skills here, shall we? This Lightning Staff is going to be your primary bar. Very important for a Warden because a Warden does a shitload of AoE damage. You have to bank up on that ancient knowledge with the Lightning Staff. You want to increase your area of effect ability damage by 8%. Without the Lightning Staff, you can't do that, right? I can't get that extra 8%. So I'm going to bank it, right? But I have to use an ability, Destruction Staff ability. That's why it doesn't pay for the Warden to use the Wall of Flames versus the Blockade of Storms. So we're going to go with the Blockade of Storms. Why? Just the extra duration works good with the Deep Fissure. Now, if you was wearing a different set and you was going with the elemental wall, that would be good. But we want the duration. We want the extra 2-second duration. So Blockade of Storm. Great. We're going to use Deep Fissure. Now that's going to be a swapped out. When we time it, I'll explain it. But Deep Fissure is an AoE effect, right? It's also going to apply Major Breach. Very important. Fetcher Infection. Don't take this one versus the other one. Why? Because every other cast you're getting 50% increased damage. Once again, this is an AoE effect. This is your most hardest hitting, besides the secondary cast from Fetcher Flies, is your Winter's Revenge. 2,540 frost damage every second for 12 seconds. No other ability on the AoE except Deep Fissure hits as hard per second. So you want to use Winter's Revenge. Okay? Inner Light's going to be on both bars. Nice thing about Warden, we have limited skills at a single target. That allows us to put Inner Light on both bars. Okay, we're also going to use the Guardian's Wrath. It can die due to mechanics, which can be a pain in the butt. But it's offering a nice amount of damage up front. Plus, prior to the 75, 21,397 magic damage. Then when it's below, it's dealing 100% more. Yeah, this thing is nice. Love it. Okay. Our Inferno Staff side, we're going to use the Race Against Time. That's going to give us our Minor Force. This is the only damaging ability we're going to have on this bar, is the Crushing Shock. So basically what I want to do, and I'm just going to demonstrate here. Once I start, I get my buff in. Oh, wrong bar. Once I get my buffs in and I apply my effects, I want to hit that Deep Fissure, and now I want to spam, and I can get 3 off. And then recast everything. And I can get the respam on 3. Okay? And then I can switch and then hit the Deep Fissure again. The Deep Fissure allows me about 3 casts before I have to rotate out. Alright? Very simple. I'm just demonstrating it. Hey, Robert, what's up? Oh, my bear's still attacking. So I'm demonstrating that. Alright? So basically for the rotation, it's so simple. Rotation on this is probably the simplest you're going to get. You're just going to go ahead, hit your Blue Betty, hit this effect, and my bear is still going at it. Get back here, Pooh. There's no honey over there. Okay. So very, very simple rotation. Basically, I'm just going to hit the Blue Betty. I'm going to hit the Race Against Time. I'm going to drop down my my Blockade, my Fletchers. This is in order. Blockade, 8 seconds. Fletcher, 10 seconds. Wrath, 12. Right? Once all of these 3 are laid, I pop the Deep Fissure, back bar. It's on the same bar as the Deep Fissure. Now I can spam 3 times, switch out, recast the rotation. If you want to adjust the rotation due to, timing mechanisms, you can't put your Deep Fissure over here, move your Fletcher Flies over here, and then you can go with your Winter's Revenge right here, and then at least you would have, better allocation towards your timing setup. So basically this is the rotation. So it's just Race Against Time, Blue Betty, Major Sorcery. Okay, so we can get 3 Crushing Shock spams with our weaves within the rotation. Really, really nice. Okay, so Harness Magicka, Shield System, Blue Betty. Now if you're not going to use Harness Magicka, I would suggest Lotus Blossom for extra healing, right? Plus the maturation. But here's the deal. You are slightly under 20k. Some dungeons you may not need this shielding system. Others you may. So it's going to be a tough call depending on what you're going to play with. Okay, Blue Betty, Major Sorcery, removes a negative effect. Really, really nice. Also keep in mind in Animal Companions, while we have an Animal Companion ability slotted, it increases our damage. So we get 4% on this side, and on our primary bar, which is the Lightning Staff bar, we are getting 6%. Okay, so really, really nice. Keep in mind, these are all AoE effects, boys and girls. Do not do double Inferno like some questionable players would tell you to do. Please don't do that. They're morons. Okay, Inner Light, once again, both bars. It's also going to give us our max Magicka by 5%, and guess what? Major Prophecy. And, of course, Eternal Guardian. So, really, really nice. Now, keep in mind, Eternal Guardian will hit harder on Inferno Staff on the swap out when he does his little claw. So, if you do pop the Eternal Guardian, make sure you are on the Inferno Staff side for the finisher, not the Lightning Staff. All right, so you just want to make sure when to pop it. Okay, so let's go over to the champion points, shall we? Coming into the apprentice, we have 12% in the Elfborn, 64 in the elemental expert, 22 into erosion. Okay, sorry. We have 14 in staff expert, 61 at master at arms. We have 61 in the thaumaturge, 40 in the ironclad, 18 in the spell shield. Hardy and elemental defender are both split at 10.15. Light armor focus 42, thick skin 611. Bastion, we are using a shield system, so that will be 1208. Quick recovery 6.17. Coming into the tower, Warlord's at 10.22. Tenacity is 14%. Arcanus 14%. Healthy 909. Tumbling 20. And Shadow Ward 904. Both 904. And that is how the champion points are allocated. So like I said, guys, pretty easy rotation. Pretty easy build. Really hits hard. I really like it because both have to be static. A lot of people are going to be like, well, what about an ability altering weapon? Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. Your critical value will drop. Your max Magicka will... Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I was just playing around. Thank you. So I was definitely wanting to make sure these both are static. Do not try to slip in an ability altering weapon with this build. It will cost you. It will cost you. Do not do it. It's not worth it. I tried it. I tried to put in like one or two things. It seems like I'm losing DPS by not keeping the double stack. I've said that during build configs, during patch note releases. For Magicka users, double stack setups will prevail over most of your ability altering setups. Why? Because the double stack numbers prevail. It's a numbers game, right? It's simply a numbers game. And if I haven't gone over it, I am using max health, max Magicka food, and I am using the lever Mundus. If you are in a trial, will this work in a trial? Fuck yes, this will work in a trial. Yes, yes, and yes. But if you are in a trial, replace the lover with the apprentice. That's the only difference. It's been calculated. So what I would do is I would go ahead and just remove the lover for a trial scenario due to the penetrating values. Pick up the apprentice. Now when we go back into it, now we're sitting at 16 verses. And on this side, we'd be sitting at 18. When we proc up and we come back to the back bar in our main, now we're at 2289. Okay? And then we'll still maintain that 6%. He'll just go flying off. Ignore him. Oh, maybe he won't. Yeah, I did. Anyways, 46. So we'll get a ton of damage. A lot of damage. Also, keep in mind, guys, most people are trying to say that, oh, well, your weaves now scale max Magicka. Bullshit. It always did. Okay? It did. It always did. Because of setups like this. Because of... you know, max Magicka like sets like Necropotence. Okay, it's just a 10-to-1 conversion ratio. That's all. So you want to use the lover if you're in a 4-man. If you're in a trial scenario, pick up the apprentice. You'll be good to go. All right. And can this compete? Yes, it's a straight up dot. Just keep in mind, as soon as you hit the deep fissure, you swap out. You get 3 cast on the crushing shock. Plus that'll give you your interrupt. All right. So the only damaging ability on this besides the bear. Right? Everything else is dot-based. It's a straight-up heavy dot-based. Deep Fissure will hit between 23 to 27, depending. So per hit, it'll deal 23 to 27,000 damage after 3 seconds. Hits like a friggin' truck. But you want to time everything down. Okay? All right. If anybody has any questions or comments, please post below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Once again, I'm Mr. Craven, this CSO Daily. And as always... have a nice day.